All right, welcome to the Explainer. Let me ask you something. What if you could get your full paycheck, but only work 3 days a week? Sounds like a fantasy, right? Well, some of the biggest names in tech are saying that AI is about to make that our new reality.
And look, this isn't just some random, fringe idea. We're talking about leaders right at the heart of the AI revolution. Think Bill Gates. Think NVIDIA's CEO, Jensen Huang. They're all arguing that AI isn't just going to tweak our jobs. No, it's going to completely blow up our whole concept of what a work week even is.
So, let's talk about this promise. You know, the idea of working less isn't new. People have been dreaming about it for decades. But what used to be just a fantasy is now a really serious conversation. And the reason why? The absolute explosion of AI.
And the potential benefits? They're huge. We're talking about a future with way better work-life balance, happier employees, and a whole lot less stress. The basic idea is pretty simple, right? If people are rested and happy, they're not just going to be more productive, they'll be more creative and engaged when they actually are on the clock.
Okay, so that all sounds amazing. But how does AI actually pull this off? Like, what's the magic sauce that takes us from a 5-day grind down to a 3-day week?
First things first, we need to be clear about what we mean by a shorter work week, because there are two very different ideas here. The first one is what you could call a compressed week. That's where you're still working the full 40 hours, but you're just cramming them into fewer, longer days. But the real game changer, the one everyone's excited about, is the reduced week. This is where you actually work fewer total hours for the exact same pay, all because AI makes everything so much more efficient.
And this is exactly where AI flexes its muscles. Think of it as this incredible efficiency engine. It takes all that boring, repetitive stuff, the tasks that eat up our days, and just automates it. It streamlines workflows, gives us insights in a snap, and basically clears our plate so we can focus on the stuff humans are actually good at. You know, creativity, big picture strategy, and solving tough problems. That's the work that really moves the needle.
Now, this isn't some far-off futuristic dream. It's happening right now. You've got AI power tools like Microsoft Copilot already built into the software we use every single day. Teams are literally using it to get more done in less time. So the tech isn't the hurdle, it's already here.
And the data? Well, the data really backs this up. Take a look at these numbers. For companies that are all in on AI, nearly 30% of them are already on a 4-day week. Now compare that to more traditional companies, it's only 8%. The connection is crystal clear. The more a company uses AI, the more likely they are to have a shorter work week.
But before we all log off and start planning our permanent long weekends, we gotta hit the brakes for a second. Let's get a hard reality check because there are some really big challenges and potential downsides here.
So here's the biggest worry. What if this whole thing backfires? What if instead of feeling great, we just end up with intense burnout? The fear is that we'd just be cramming 5 days of pressure and deadlines into 3, leading to insane workloads and even more stress. That would pretty much defeat the whole point, wouldn't it?
And this isn't just me being a downer. Even the big champions of this idea, like Jensen Huang from NVIDIA, are waving a red flag here. He basically says, yeah, we'll probably work fewer days, but those days could become incredibly intense. The work isn't just going away, it's getting compressed.
Then you've got the other massive hurdles. I mean, our whole society is built around this 9-to-5 culture. It's deeply, deeply ingrained. A lot of companies are just terrified of losing their competitive edge if they're not on all the time. And let's be real, this is way easier for an office job than it is for, say, a nurse or a retail worker who needs to be physically present. That could create a pretty big divide in the workforce.
So with all these roadblocks, what's the answer? Well, it turns out the solution isn't just about better tech. The technology is just a tool. The real change that has to happen, it's not in our computers, it's in our heads.
Okay, this is the key. For any of this to actually work, companies have to completely change how they think about, well, work. We have to get away from this old school idea of measuring success by how many hours you're logged in or sitting at a desk. Instead, it has to be all about the results, the quality of what you produce. It's a shift from valuing being present to valuing actual results.
And really, that's the bottom line here. AI is the incredible tool that opens the door to this future, but it's not the destination. The true revolution isn't the tech itself. It's a massive cultural shift. It's about completely redefining work from being about time to being about outcomes.
Which leaves us with one final big question to think about.
Maybe the real question isn't if AI can let us work less. Maybe the real question is, are we willing to change how we measure work itself? Because that, right there, is the real challenge and the real opportunity.